Richmond, north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't and it's taxed to no end.
Welcome everyone back to Curiosities. Yes. You know, I want to get into this whole Oliver Anothony thing because I've had friends on both sides of the political aisle that have contacted me the last few weeks. I think since last month or whatever, Oliver Anothony finally hit the scene and everybody was talking about him, and everybody on one political aisle, the conservatives especially, were very, very keen on this gentleman. Took his song and put it on, as their battle cry song. They really took hold of him, and I think they found themselves in a little bit on the awkward side when they realized that things aren't exactly what they seem with this gentleman. I want to get right into it, but before I do, some of you have been really, really supportive of me, and I'm really, really grateful. And hopefully that you'll think about becoming a patron of the show. It's some of you have already expressed great interest in none other than getting your first fresh copy of The Rise of King Asilas, the Ouroboros, my first novel on this story, on this podcast. And the support has been coming in, and I feel very, very humbled, and it's a little overwhelming. But I'll be doing a couple of shows in the upcoming weeks to talk more about it with some other podcasters, which is going to be fun. But yeah, if you can do that, that'd be awesome. Check out the link below, and also think about hitting the like button too. That also helps out too. And if you could just hit that like button, that also helps grow the channel in a lot of ways. So anyway, getting into this subject of Oliver Anothony. It's not that I've been reluctant to talk about this gentleman. Clearly, I'm aware of everything that's going on in the whole this whole phenomenon with him. But I was hesitant, and I had my reasons for it. I'm glad that I was hesitant, and I didn't jump on any bandwagons because, as it turns out, it seems a little odd to me, this person. And he went on the Joe Rogan show, and he talked a lot bit about his personal stuff, and I don't really want to get into too much of that. You can check out Joe Rogan's podcast. He talks to him at length, and you can hear all his stuff. But it was a lot of the things was a validation for me of things that I suspected. But there was also other angles that I want to get to. Okay, and when you want to get to, when you want to get into fringe conversations, when you're dealing with certain topics, especially something that's I guess he's controversial in a lot of ways, and it's controversial for political reasons, and I'm going to get into that. But I wanted to get into the bowels of the cesspool, the monster. I want to get into the jowls of the beast, and the only place you can go to get that is Reddit. Now, I have been on Reddit. I'm not the most popular guy on Reddit. I've had very epic battles on Reddit. But I continue to go on that site, much to the dismay of some of my friends. But I do so because every once in a while you do come across people that have a different angle to things. Some of the things that people were saying, and one of the things that people were saying in this particular thread I'm going to share with you, I'm going to go into it, is about whether or not he's an industry plant. Now, what does that mean? It means that his entire persona and his rise to fame overnight, literally going from a nobody that nobody's ever heard of to, having tens of millions of downloads and being number one on iTunes and all that stuff. It seems unbelievable that somebody could pull something like that off without some industry help. So let's get into it. If you look at the subreddit, the headline reads, "Is Oliver Anothony guy an industry plant?" Is this Oliver Anothony guy an industry plant? He has very polished and professional sound despite having no prior music experience. This suggests that they have had significant financial backing from a record label or other music industry insiders. It does seem really strange. I'm not saying it's impossible for somebody to just, overnight. But it is kind of impossible. I mean, when you have a viral moment, that's one thing. But when you become a viral music entity, that seems like there takes some planning. It seems like it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. I mean, and you look throughout history, when does that really happen where there wasn't some mechanism behind the band or behind the singer, the musician or artist pushing that onto the stage and getting that in front of audiences? It just seems like it was very orchestrated. Okay, so if we look for this particular person, this is from 19 days ago. Okay, so this is a conversation that's been going on for a while. He said he's not even signed to a label, wasn't signed prior to his explosion. His attention came from a page similar to Jemson VHS, where Benjamin Todd was discovered. I don't know who these people are. So wherever it is, this person, Fit Act 3243, whoever you are. I hear you. Oliver Anothony has no connection to Nashville whatsoever. The record execs I work around are discovering him just as you have. Go on Oliver Anothony's Spotify. You'll hear his initial recordings have abundant background noise as they're being done outdoors. He's recording in his bedroom with a sheet wall around him. If you watch his most recent TikToks, etc. So yeah, it does seem rather like he's unpolished, but then all of a sudden he's polished. It's really strange to me that somebody would just literally get on top of the world, literally like within hours. That just doesn't happen. If he's so poor, why doesn't he sell a few of his 90 acres? 1 acre of farmland in Virginia is worth almost $5,000 today. He has 90 acres. Poor? Most people would love to be that poor. Yeah, I get that. He does go around. He does present himself as though he's just some poor working class, dude. People hate on him for all kinds of reasons. I think people hate on him because he's just a white dude, and people don't like for white dudes to become sensations at anything these days. There was an initial push to bring this person onto the conservative, the Republican platform. There is no denying that. And some of my conservative friends were like, yes, you need to jump on with this guy. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that because I don't really know who this guy is. And who knows what his real end game is. And it turns out, people on the left, Democrats, were trying to take on him too and use his song as well for their message. So you had the Republicans wanting to use it for their message, and you had the Democrats wanted to use it for their message. It turns out he doesn't give a crap about either one. Okay. He just flat out said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this endorsing of Republicans, and I'm not doing this to endorse Democrats either, because he doesn't trust politicians. He has very low opinions of politicians and government in general. And that's when the spark hit me, when I'm like, yeah, this dude, he may be a plant. I don't know. He may have backing. That may be true. I don't know. But I definitely like what he says there. And in that respect, I totally connect, because it's not about the political side of it. It's about the human side of it. It's about the American side of it. And whatever you want to think about America's past, it is what it is. It's shady. It has its taint. It is tainted. It has its bad parts. But we have this country now. We could take it forward rather than sit and live in the past about it and sit and sulk about it and throw eggs at each other about it. Neither of us on either side were around back then. We could take it from this point and go forward. Okay. And so that's where I'm at. And I think the government likes to pin people against each other. I just think they do. That's just my personal belief. And it appears that this Oliver Anothony gentleman seems to have the same thought, that you can't trust the government. You can't trust politicians. You absolutely cannot. They're liars. They're professional liars. And then I'm just gonna move on, because there are people that want to criticize the song and they say, it doesn't sound this or it doesn't sound that. Yeah, I'm just not doing that. But I just want to see what else is. So here's one where it talks about QAnon. Okay. This is from Busta Palas. So QAnon, or more aptly, QAnon supporters, isn't a real thing. I almost think the people on the left that trot QAnon are more gullible than all these QAnon supporters they seem to think exist. But in reality, it's just a lazy, convenient smear. Okay. I'm cool with that. because here you go. It seems like both sides want to take this song and use it as their battle cry. It just seems like they do. It seems they want to take possession of it and they want to use that to beat the other side on the head with it. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm really curious. I mean, is Oliver Anothony still significant these many weeks later? Are people still thinking that this is a significant thing? I think it is. I mean, if it took me this long to talk about him, it wasn't like I wanted to do it. I didn't. I wanted to avoid the Oliver Anothony thing for as long as I could. But I think it warrants. Once he was on Joe Rogan, I'm like, okay, he's on Joe Rogan's show. I got to address this at some point.
New Kingdom Radio Theater.